what this company stands for. And I don't know if it's like their slogan, their motto, but it's to uplift, empower, and validate. That's what they stand for. They want to uplift, empower, and validate every single woman on this planet. It goes so much deeper than just makeup. They want women to feel confident, to feel, the makeup really, it just makes you feel a little better. You don't need it, but if it can boost your confidence a little bit, that is great. But not only that, so she talked about that, but the thing that I really loved and what really got me to say yes to this is, oh, hey, Joel, that the reason that they founded this company was to help women and adolescents that had been victims of sexual abuse. And they also have the unique foundation where it's a Facebook group or page. I think it's a page where they give you tips on how to prevent your children from being victims of sexual abuse. And that is what finally got me to take that step and do this. Because not only is the makeup fantastic, not only is it a great deal, when you join, it's $99. That's all you're going to pay ever, and then, but that they actually stand for something. And, I've talked about, there's no other company that I ever would have joined, but this one, they just, hey, Ashley, I just love their mission. And so I told my husband, I can't work. And I've kind of talked about this a little bit too. I can't hold a full-time job. I have several things. I have fibromyalgia. I have adenomyosis. I have endometriosis. I have arthritis. And I have sciatica that acts up every so often. And so holding a full-time job is impossible for me. I've talked about how when I go to my job and I work the 7 hours that I am down. Sunday, I can't do anything after I've worked. It's just too much. And when I went and did that zip lining a couple months ago, I was down for a full week. I had such bad, oh my gosh, what's it called? Where you get dizzy, vertigo for a week. I couldn't even drive. I had to have Jake stay home from work because I was so dizzy all the time. And, so those things hold me back. I can't work a full-time job, but because of those things, we're just buried in medical debt. Like, the only reason that we have any debt at all is because of our medical. I have to go see one doctor appointment I have every single month that I have to pay the specialist copay, and it's like $50. And then my insurance has decided they're no longer going to pay for my prescriptions, so I have to pay for those out of pocket, which is another $200 a month. And that is just I'm at like $250 a month right there on, with just the one appointment. And so I've had 16 surgeries in my life, and the majority of them in the last 10 years. I needed to find a way that I could help Jake so that, we weren't struggling so much to pay all these bills. And so I thought at the very least, at least I was getting, and this is what I told him, because he was kind of hesitant and didn't really think that I could do it. Not that I couldn't do it, but that I wouldn't maybe stick with it, was that at least I was going to get a great deal on makeup that I knew I loved. So, $99, you get over $300 worth of makeup. And at the very least, I was going to get some amazing makeup. So the other reason too, I kind of want to talk about, and I haven't talked about this a lot. I've talked about it maybe once or twice. Well, I don't know if I've fully talked about it. I was not sexually abused as a child. I'll say that. But it wasn't because there weren't men in my life that hadn't tried. I had 2 teachers. I had one in middle school and I had one in high school that both tried to groom me and both made me feel really uncomfortable. And if I'd fallen for their tactics, I would have been one of those girls, the 1 in 5. It's so sad. 1 in 5 girls are sexually abused before they're 18, and it's 1 in 7 boys. So those numbers are crazy. And I will say, my parents talked to me enough about predators that I didn't fall for what they were trying to do, but I never told anyone. I didn't tell my mom about the teacher in middle school. So if I had told her, she would have pulled me right out of that class. I never told her, and so I endured his touching and you know, he never, I mean, but he would like pet my hair, and he would touch my arm, and he would try and hold my hand, and it was a class full of boys, and so I was the only girl in that class, and so I thought maybe that, I don't know what I thought, but I never told my mom about it, and it was because I was embarrassed. I thought that I was the reason, that somehow something I was doing was making him pay me that extra attention. And, you know, he would try to get me to stay after class or whatever, and I never would. I always made sure that I wasn't there, but I never told my mom. And, you know, and then in high school, the teacher in high school, I was talking to one of my friends about it, and they just didn't believe me. They said, oh no, he wouldn't do that. You know, he was LDS, he was married, he had 5 kids, he was this great teacher, you know, no, there's no way, he's not doing that to any of them, there's just no way. Well, come to find out, after I graduated, he had a high school girl, one of the students, that he had an apartment, he was paying for the apartment, which is crazy. I don't know how as a teacher he could do all of this. But you know, he was doing those things, and once again, like I said, I never said anything, and it probably is a good thing that I never told my parents. My dad, he worked at the high school, and I think that that's why that guy, he got like a thrill out of trying to groom me for that, because, you know, my dad worked there, and my dad was 6'7" and gigantic and very athletic, and my dad would have killed him, I feel like. So, but, you know, as much as my parents instilled in us to not fall for that, I still was too embarrassed to say anything, and I don't want those things to happen. And I hope that my girls, if they ever encounter something like that, that they won't fall for it, and not only that, but they will tell us so that we can take care of it. So, and that is what this company stands for. This company, that's what they're doing. They are helping those women. They host a retreat for 4 days, so that those people that have been abused and have had that trauma can go for 4 days. All they have to pay for is their, hey Michelle, their travel expenses. And they have a place here in Utah, but they're buying a place on the East Coast so that it will offset some of those travel costs. But for 4 days, they are fed, housed, there's all kinds of therapy and groups and everything like that. And so that to me is amazing, you know, because I know that how I felt, and I did not even have those things happen to me, right? But it still was a gross feeling to have these older men paying that kind of attention to me, and it was not a good feeling. So, and you know, I will just say that if any of those things have ever happened to you, you don't have to let me know. Hi, Cindy. You don't have to tell me. You can go to, it's just the Unique Foundation. Just Google the Unique Foundation. It will take you to their page. You can sign in for it. They are going to, all they want when you apply to go to the retreat is your contact information. They're not going to ask you anything about what happened to you. You don't have to relive it as you're applying for this. It's your name, your phone number, your address, that kind of stuff. And if you're chosen, they will let you know. So it's to me, that is absolutely amazing. It's something that I'm glad to be a part of, and I'm glad to support. And I've gained so much from this, you guys. I have so many more friends. I'm a lot more active in people's lives, and obviously Facebook doesn't take the place of actual interaction with human beings. But I'm actually on Facebook, and I'm paying attention to what is going on in people's lives, and I try to see as much as I can and comment on as much as I can. And the confidence I've gained has been amazing. Oh, thank you, Valeria. Sometimes it's hard, and I did have an experience in college with a football player that was, so in a way I know, but it's different. What is that